I'm sure a lot of us got up to some gardening over the long weekend. Here's a look at your lawn and garden report. Another unsettled day in the west for Tuesday, at least for some areas. We are watching a system move into the Maritimes through the day as well, and that's going to bring us a little bit of rain, only about 1 to 3 millimeters, for example, in Halifax, so not too much, not a washout by any means. There's that upper level low working from Saskatchewan into Manitoba. We have another system developing later on in the week. All right, Storm Hunters concludes in just 30 seconds, but a quick look across the country for Tuesday afternoon. Many of us heading back to work and school. Another hot one in southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and this is all thanks to that ridge of high pressure that really continues to amplify. 27 for Toronto, 28 in Montreal. Scattered showers expected through the Maritimes, but a clear, warm day for Newfoundland. Well deserved, I think. In the west, another upper level low is going to develop by Thursday. But before we get there, into your Tuesday, still dealing with some rain in Saskatchewan, pushing into Manitoba. Well, let's take a quick look across the country for Tuesday. Hope you had a nice long weekend. Still a little bit unsettled for parts of Saskatchewan into Manitoba. The risk is there for some thunderstorms as well into the afternoon. Same thing goes with this cold front that will continue to sink towards the southeast as the week progresses. But before we get there, let's talk about those temperatures. They will just continue to be hot as we move through this week, really peaking on Tuesday for many in southern Quebec and southern Ontario. Summer finally here. Hi, you're watching the Weather Network. Hope you've had a fantastic long weekend. Unfortunately, we are heading into the start of the work and school week. So let's get into your forecast conditions in the east. Ontario, Quebec still dealing with that ridge of high pressure. However, you're going to note that further to the north, we're watching a cold front slide through. Through the overnight tonight, that could bring us some thunderstorms to the northwest, and as we move through the day, sliding a little bit further, through the overnight rather, sliding a little bit further into the south. Central Ontario, that's where we're expecting those thunderstorms for tomorrow evening. So all of this heat, all of this humidity, which has really been great for the long weekend, it's all thanks to this ridge of high pressure. This ridge is going to continue right through the week, high pressure aloft. We are, however, watching for some active weather come Tuesday night into Wednesday for southern Ontario, and that's associated with that same area of low pressure, that cold front. So let's take you outside now. I can talk all about how beautiful the weather is, or I can just show you. So those showers, but very scattered in nature. Now heading into Alberta, the Fort McMurray wildfire, it's still burning. It is still over 500,000 hectares. It hasn't been growing as quickly as what we've been dealing with over the past couple of weeks, simply because the weather has been cool and wet over the weekend. They are going to see those temperatures rise as we move through the week and sunshine returning. But here's the conditions that need to be met before folks are allowed to return back to Fort McMurray. It's all conditional on that wildfire. It has to be safe for residents to return before they can do so. So the rain, it's tracking a little bit further to the east. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, as we move through the day today into tomorrow. The risk is there once again this evening for those non-severe thunderstorms through the prairies. A little bit of a dry slot there, but we could have some stronger cells develop for parts of northwestern Ontario, Thunder Bay included. So you'll want to tune back into the Weather Network as we move through the night, and I'll keep you posted. The latest fire danger forecast looks like this for Tuesday. We are seeing those levels lower slightly through the prairies. And again, it's all thanks to that upper level low, but still some extreme pockets for extreme southeastern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. And just because the fire danger forecast is low, there are still fire restrictions and fire bans for many areas. Now to BC, this is where we've got some improving conditions for you. A ridge of high pressure is building in for Tuesday and Wednesday. Sunshine returning. Temperatures are on the rise, but through the interior, the risk is there still for some scattered showers. Up next, after your local forecast, we'll get an update from our storm hunters stateside. Time now for your Weather Watch update here on the Weather Network. I'm Michelle Mackey. Let's get to your forecast this week for the east. High pressure aloft means those temperatures, they're going to continue to be hot for many, especially southern Ontario, southern Quebec. Tuesday, we're talking about temperatures into the high 20s. It'll be another warm day for parts of Manitoba, a little bit cooler in the wake of a cold front for Saskatchewan. But before we get there, through the overnight tonight, even in this evening, this afternoon, we are watching for the risk of some non-severe thunderstorms. We could see some stronger cells develop in parts of northwestern Ontario, however. But I mean, for southern Ontario, cottage country, it's been a fantastic weekend. Here's a look at the prairies. So not only are we dealing with the risk of some thunderstorms, but for parts of west central Saskatchewan, we've had a special weather statement issued, or a weather advisory rather, for cold core funnels. So this happens typically late summer, early fall, and this is when we have stacked lows. So if you think of the atmosphere in different levels, this provides a little bit of spin, and we can see some of those cold core funnels, but they're typically harmless in nature and they rarely touch the ground. The shower is expected to continue this week, especially as we move Thursday into Friday. That's when yet another upper level low will develop in BC and Alberta. Let's head stateside right now and check in with our storm hunters in Texas. Okay, thanks guys. Stay safe down there. It's good to know there was no major damage. Pretty jaw-dropping footage. So here's a look at your SPC convective outlook for today. You can see those enhanced risks down towards Texas, Oklahoma. We have seen some tornado watches as well through the afternoon. As we move into tomorrow, that risk area, once again, a similar spot, Tornado Alley, looking like the best chance for some of that severe weather. Back here at home, let's take a look at the long-range forecast. Atlantic Canada, scattered showers expected tomorrow for the Maritimes. A great day in Newfoundland, but then we're going to dry up midweek briefly. An active pattern returns for the end of the week for Atlantic Canada, and we're going to get some instability for parts of Ontario this week, too. Around the World in 60 seconds is next with Kim McDonald.